$48, $16. These definitely have similar vibes to each other. Let's see if we found an alternative. This is the Dior Backstage Glow palette in shade 02 Glitz. This is the Milani Stellar Lights palette in shade 03 Rose Glow. Here is a closer look at the two. Now let me just point out the obvious. This has 4 shades and this has 3. But when I say alternative, I don't mean exact dupe. I just mean something that can give you a similar effect. Let's do some swatches of the Milani palette first. Here is the lightest shade, the middle shade, and that last darkest shade. Now I'm gonna do some swatches of the Dior. Here is that top lightest shade, and then the other shade that's on the top. Here's the more peachy shade, and then the darkest shade. Here's what they're all looking like. Hopefully it's translating good on camera. I feel like obviously the 2 darkest shades look the most similar to each other. And then we've got the middle shade from Milani and then that first shade from Dior. I'm gonna start off with the Dior and I'm just gonna apply it right to the high points of my cheek. Now this is like a yellowy gold color, which is quite pretty and unique in my opinion. Here is what that shade from Dior is looking like. I cleaned off my brush and now I'm just gonna dip into this middle one that looks very similar to the Dior. Doing the same thing. That has some kick to it for sure. Ooh. Also a very buttery formula too. Here is the Milani, Dior, and Milani. I'm just gonna go ahead in with this darker shade and put it over top of this area. I'm almost just gonna use it as like a blush and a bronzer. What it's looking like with the lightest and the darkest shade of the Dior. Dipping into that darkest shade of the Milani and then just kind of doing the same thing, using it as a blush and bronzer topper. This is what the Milani is looking like with this shade and this shade. One last thing, a lot of the time what I'll do is I'll just kind of mix all the shades together. So I kind of want to swatch them and see what they look like. Here is the Dior and then here is the Milani. Pretty darn close, almost identical. Now looking at the 2 side by side, I think it's pretty obvious that the Milani has much more amp and more pigmentation to it, while the Dior still gives you a really nice glow, but it's a little more subdued, but you can build it up. So is the Milani a spot on dupe for the Dior? No, but it is very similar. I think we can go ahead and just consider this an alternative for this one. Now you gotta let me know which one you like better and have you tried either of these?